same way, I was told just last night by one of the people who would be involved if we were borrowing from one of the smaller countries, this chap who has visited here, that only we could get somehow during the course of the year, he said, if short-term rates were only a half of 1% higher here, he said this would do so much as a demonstration of real further performance on our part. He said this would just make it much simpler for me, he says, to explain to our people here why it's reasonable for Europe to go on over a longer period financing a U.S. deficit. We've got to have things to point to in other parts of the effort to show that the whole force of the American government is being brought to bear on this, and if that is done in a comprehensive way, then the financing will come. Now, making these estimates, as we've done here, indicating their implications for reduced gold sales, is of course quite an exercise in legerdemain, because it also assumes that we know a little bit about who's going to get the surplus, and where those end up has something to do with the way this comes out. An important part of that is that there are a number of countries who, when they get dollars, still want to hold them anyway, and there's no need to borrow from them. We might still do it, for example, the Swedes. We'd rather like to just add countries to our borrowing ring in order to show solidarity, but they just contacted me last week. I'm going to be up there again in 2 more weeks to talk it over, but saying, of course, you know, we'll hold any dollars we get anyway. We'll come into this if you think it's good for window dressing, but you don't have any problem if we have surplus. As long as we have confidence in your performance, that's all that matters. Now,
what is it, your judgment, what do you think we'll lose to go over the next 2 years?
Well, that's a hard thing to try to commit on, but I think we're capable, if this sort of program is followed, of having gold losses that will be in the same magnitude, and I would hope somewhat less, in the last 2 years. Now, we've had roughly 850 for 2 years. I think it is very possible that we can get a smaller figure each year, but I wouldn't want to promise that, because it hinges on the way in which these other measures are taken and how that sustains our ability to do these financing arrangements. Now, the one other big question mark, of course, is the French position. I just had a little reminder from our people over there again, this time in the Bank of France, that everything is working forward well. They want to have another talk about looking ahead toward debt prepayment, and possibly they're doing one of these borrowing operations just to show that they're cooperating in this way as well. But also saying, of course, it is desirable to get these things in place, because no one can ever really tell what might happen if General de Gaulle gets a different political orientation any given day or week, so that this is the kind of risk we can't foresee. But this has nothing to do with either our deficit, our balance of payments, or our performance. This is a broader political question. So with that kind of footnote, I'd say that we have a very good chance, provided this overall program is carried through, very good chance indeed of having a smaller gold outflow than we've had these last 2 years, and that the safest estimate is, as we've indicated here, that we could sustain, so long as other things are going well, we could sustain without an outbreak of fear around the world losses of around $1 billion a year, and still is crucial all the way through, that we avoid action which will be suggested